Working on a restoration of an old fishing rod. There's a lot wrong with it. The eyes are falling off, the threads all falling off, and the cork is disgusting. As soon as I find a not terrible spot on my cleaning rag here. So we're going to clean it, and then we're going to seal it. I mean, seriously, it's just bad. For sealing it, we're going to use well, I'm losing my damn mind. I literally just had it in my hand. There it is. Yeah, look at that. That's like a whole new world right there. There's lots of different brands. This one's Cadillac Cork Sealer. Does exactly what you think it does. This one's actually for like cork shoes, but you can use it for this just as easy. I need a brush. As I was searching for a brush, I thought to open this, and there's already a brush inside. But basically you're going to brush it. It dries clear, don't worry. Like you're painting it. This will help this crud from falling out too, the loose stuff. And then once you have it all the way coated, it'll take half hour-ish to fully dry, and then it'll be good, and depending on your usage, a year or so. Now obviously that's subjective. If it's something that you're going to use a lot, you'll have to, you know, treat it more often than if it's something that you only use a few times. It's a common sense kind of thing. Sorry about the dog barking and the kid noise and the howling wind and whatever in the hell that just was. So anyway, like I said, it'll dry clear. And we're going to set that off to the side. We're done. Other than letting it dry. Now this same rod had other issues than the cork being hot garbage. Most of the threading has come loose. And the tip, the threading on it is also pretty well come loose. That's loose. This is loose. And the first eye on the blank is also loose, but that one I'm not going to touch right now because the cork is drying. So we're going to very carefully cut that. Let's see if we can't get all that old nasty off. Okay. It's not my kid's voice, I promise. I don't know whose kid that is, but they're angry about something. The first thing I'm going to do is put just an weeny teeny little bit of super glue for no purpose other than to hold that in place. Don't fall, I just glued you. Do not fall. Try to get that as straight as I can. Oh, of course it's bent. Why wouldn't it be? Why would it ever be easy the first time, you know? We're going to get the rest of this thread off too. But I want to just stick the shank a little bit. Basically so it doesn't move when I'm wrapping. Now I know there's purists out there saying, oh, don't use super glue, you got to use epoxy. And that's fine and all. And epoxy works. But not everybody knows how to use two-part epoxy. But just about everybody living and breathing can use super glue. Hey, I bet that's the color the rod was originally. Huge difference. Let me get up there, you guys can see it. Well, maybe you guys can see it. I don't know. Anyway, super glue. Now, for the record, I absolutely loathe brush-on super glue, but I'm an idiot, and that's what I bought. So that's what I'm going to use. Boop, boop, booby doo. I'm going to sit here and hold this until it sets enough to let go. I'll be back. Okay. Now, of course, we're not going to rely on the super glue to hold the eye for actual fishing. That's what the wrap is for. It's just there basically to hold down and this is what we're going to use for that wrap. This has a special meaning for me, which is why it's being used. You can use any kind of thread that you want, but if you're using super glue like we are today, you want a nylon. Now the reason for that is because super glue is pretty reactive, and if you use a cotton, it's a very violent reaction, and it'll burn you. I found out the hard way, trust me. Take my word for it. Now we are not striving for perfection, obviously. Because if I was, I'd have somebody else do it, that's for sure. We are striving for usability. And this particular thread is rather thick. It's actually a lot thicker than I would ever normally use for this. And we're going to do, you know, a couple, 2, 3 layers. Well, I'm just doing a terrible job on this one particular side. Which is okay. Like I said, I'm going to do a couple different layers. But anyway, you guys get the idea. So I'm going to fast forward through this process to get to the good stuff. Okay, like I said, not perfection, but that's usable, and that thread is huge, but that's okay. It'll do the job, and that's what matters. Alright, now again, like I said, if you're using the super glue like I am, you want a nylon thread. And the reason for that is, if you use a cotton with the super glue, it'll react and react violently, and it sucks. We want to make sure we smooth down all the loose ends, coat it real good, make sure it never ever comes apart. And that is that. We're going to let that dry. I'm going to do the exact same thing the rest of the way up. Maybe not this one. This one's good. And then next, since that's drying, next I'm going to do the tip. Yeah, we'll do the tip next. And it's pretty well the exact same process. We need to get rid of the old that's loose here. Alright, there's what's coming off. Anyway, same kind of process. We're going to find a place to start. And you want to wrap really tight. They don't do rod tips like this anymore, by the way. This one is split. The end of the rod goes in, and then this is done. Nowadays it's just one solid piece that is glued onto the end of the rod blank. I don't know why they changed it. Probably because it's cheaper. And again, I'm definitely not striving for perfection. I'm just making it usable. And that ought to do. Alright, now we're going to let it dry. Once both are dry, I will take care of that other eye. Like I said, it should be fine. I'm going to make sure of it, but